Shifting focus for now, as Israel marks the second anniversary of the deadly October 7 attacks. The region continues to remain on edge. It's caught between the horrors of the war and the fragile possibility of peace. In recent days, the talks in Egypt have intensified, with Qatar acting as a key mediator. Even as the negotiators seem to inch closer to an agreement, the overall landscape remains rather precarious. Both sides continue to grapple with deep-rooted distrust and the unresolved demands. Khalil al-Hayya, who is a senior Hamas official, has publicly emphasized on the need for real guarantees to ensure a lasting ceasefire as part of any deal for the release of the remaining hostages still in captivity in Gaza. Hamas, which has long resisted the full scope of peace efforts, has displayed a more optimistic outlook on the discussions. Another senior official stated that hostage lists have been exchanged and a prisoner swap could be on the horizon. The US-backed peace plan proposed by Donald Trump is at the center of these negotiations. Remember, the plan includes provisions for Gaza's international governance and the disarmament of Hamas, which is yet to be accepted. And Prime Minister Netanyahu has expressed cautious optimism, framing the talks as focused on technicalities rather than fundamental shifts in policy as such. And while Trump's plan has garnered significant international backing, including from both Israel and key Arab states, its implementation has met resistance on multiple fronts. Hamas has made it clear that guarantees on the release of prisoners, as well as the return of bodies of key figures like Yahya and Mohammad Sinwar, must be part of any lasting peace agreement. However, Israel has rejected these demands, citing national security concerns and the desire to avoid further concessions to the group. Meanwhile, the Turkish president has put Israel in the dock in a way. He says that it was neither fair nor realistic to put the burden of achieving peace in Gaza solely on Hamas and Palestinians. He stated that Israel must stop its attacks in order for the peace efforts to succeed.
The Palestinian resistance group, Hamas, responded very positively to Mr. Trump's peace plan. Thus, it clearly demonstrated its will for peace. However, it is a fact that peace is not a single-winged bird. Placing the entire burden of peace on Hamas and the Palestinians is neither a fair, correct, nor realistic approach. Currently, the greatest obstacle before the path leading to peace is Israel's attacks. Despite Mr. Trump's clear calls, Israel continues its attacks, which undermine the positive atmosphere. If peace is truly desired, Israel's attacks must be stopped immediately.
And as those discussions continue, two major obstacles remain: Israel's military withdrawal from Gaza and the release of the prisoners. And Hamas, remember, is demanding a fixed timetable for the Israeli forces to pull out of Gaza, with specific details and not just vague plans. Hamas also seeking free movement within Gaza to collect hostages and bodies and access to the Egyptian border, which is not included in the initial phase of Donald Trump's plan. But Israel is reluctant to ease the pressure on what it views as a broken enemy. It fears that Hamas could regroup and reorganize if the withdrawal happens too quickly. Even if a deal is reached, political resistance remains a significant challenge. Prime Minister Netanyahu facing a potential backlash from the far-right ministers in his government, with some of his ministers, in fact, calling for the complete destruction of Hamas. Listen into this.
I only pray that our Prime Minister will allow a complete victory in Gaza as well as to destroy Hamas. With God's help, we will return the hostages and we will win a complete victory.
And while the talks of the ceasefire echo through the international chambers, the reality on the ground remains grim. In Gaza's Deir al-Balah, desperate families gathered in long and weary lines, not for shelter, but for a simple bowl of food. A makeshift soup kitchen has become their lifeline there. Now, the talks between Israel and Hamas are in a critical phase, with a momentum building towards a possible deal, but also fraught with complex challenges. And as Gaza hovers between the brutal realities of the war and the tenuous hope for peace, the outcome of these negotiations will have profound implications for the entire region. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.